Peace. This is Ethereal TV with your host Doc Blake, bringing to you the sixth episode of the last piece to the puzzle. The motto for me is silver, gold, and cryptos equals freedom, and that's the good cryptos, the real cryptos, the decentralized cryptos, and of course, as long as it's real, you can prove it's silver and gold. That's already decentralized by nature, actually. But yeah, there's some good cryptos and there's some bad cryptos. Like the bad cryptos are probably going to be the ones that a lot of these governments are implementing, and then the good cryptos are the originators, the ones that have already existed, such as Bitcoin, Litecoin. I really like Ethereum too, and there's a bunch of other good ones out there and real ones. But yeah, so let's get into the price action today. We have Bitcoin at $7,741.56. We have Litecoin at $44.55. Gold was currently at $1,711.35, and silver was at $15.19. So Bitcoin it's creeping up there. I don't know if they're gonna try to stomp it down. You know how they normally, they just pull the carpet right out. We have the halving. That's why it's called this episode is called Bitcoin halving. We're going to talk about a little of the basics of the halving, just for people who haven't heard of it yet. There's a lot of new people coming into the space, and they hear about this exciting event. You know what I mean? So I gotta break it down a little bit for people. What is the Bitcoin halving? And yeah, so let's get into it. There's approximately less than 14 days left until the Bitcoin halving, which is the largest event in the crypto space. Bitcoin is the originator, you know what I mean? And we're about to see, the biggest event in the space take place here in less than 14 days in the crypto space. So I got a little article from CoinDesk, doing a little bit of giving a little bit of explanations to what the halving is. Bitcoin halving explained. The Halving sounds like a horror movie about an axe murder, but it's actually the nickname for one of the most hotly anticipated events in Bitcoin's history. Sometime in May, the number of Bitcoins entering circulation every 10 minutes, known as block rewards, will drop by half to 6.25 from 12.5. It's a milestone that's easy to see coming because it happens every 4 years and it's happened twice before. So, what that basically is saying is the reward that is paid out for people that are mining the Bitcoin. And remember that mining Bitcoin is the only way that Bitcoins come into existence. So the reward for people mining them is being cut in half from 12.5 to 6.25. So that's a really big cut, but that was the whole brilliance behind this blockchain, was to actually have a deflationary currency. So actually, there will be less Bitcoin being mined. Now, at this current state, it's still inflating, but the inflation rate is rapidly declining every 4 years. It's being chopped in half. So you can only get 6.25 for every blocks that the miners mine. So that means there's going to be a lot less Bitcoin in circulation, and that's a big deal for people that are heavily invested in it. You know what I mean? So it has the potential to really skyrocket if everything goes according to the previous halvings. And you're going to look at information on the previous halvings and find that out. But what is the halving? New Bitcoins enter circulation as block rewards produced by miners who use expensive electronic equipment to earn or mine them. Every 210,000 blocks, or roughly every 4 years, the total number of Bitcoins that miners can potentially win is halved. So that's the halving explained right there. So yeah, definitely, this is not financial advice to anyone, but I currently invest in Bitcoin and have for a little while now, and I think it's a great idea for everybody to have a little bit of this blockchain in their back pocket, as to say. So, um, yeah, my thoughts. I give a little bit of my thoughts on the price action. I think that there's going to be this pump that's going on right now. We're seeing Bitcoin really try to struggle breaking through the 7.7 levels. Um, so I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's up right now. So it all depends on the economy right now. Of course, if the economy if the stocks go extremely down and oil and all that continues down, then Bitcoin most likely isn't going to go up yet. But as people start getting extra money, and I think that the extra money is coming, look for a crazy pump. And I would say in about 2 to 3 months, that's my opinion on it right there. So let's go into our next article. Here's a little bit of Donald Trump's worst nightmare. It says, hold on, let me get it pulled up. Donald Trump's China nightmare is coming true for the U.S. dollar. U.S. President Donald Trump's power struggle with China was perhaps the defining feature of his presidency until the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic struck. But the US dollar days as the world's reserve currency could be numbered, with some of the biggest ever changes to government backed central banks' currencies looming and China's leading the field. And like I talked about in a previous video, the BSN, that's what they're talking about. China leading the field with the digital currency, putting it up and getting it actually operational and running. Digital currencies will work just like regular coins and notes issued by central banks, but exist entirely online instead of printing or minting currency. The central banks would issue digital dollars via online accounts, similar to the commercial banking apps that have exploded in popularity in recent years. Employers could theoretically pay directly into these government-run accounts, and both online and physical stores could accept payments from them. Foreign exchange could also be handled through them, easing the flow of international trade. Whew, man, that is really interesting. And this is coming from Forbes magazine. You know what I'm saying? This is a mainstream, a pretty legit source. And they're, listen to what they're saying. What they're saying, this currency has the potential to go straight from the government to people's bank accounts, from the employer to the government to the people's bank accounts. You see what I'm saying? So who would that completely wipe out? The banks. And that's the craziest part. Who did they have to bail out in 2008? The banks was the main. And who's getting the most money? Over 3 trillion so far has went to the banks since what? September 11th, 2019. So the banks are just looking like they're just, having to be carried along. And I don't know if the government's going to continue this. And what would be the solution to that? A digital currency issued by the governments. So, and I think that will cause Bitcoin, Litecoin. That's why people are predicting 300. You see people predicting $300,000 price ranges for 2020. It's not far fetched, because if everybody's getting helicopter money, and then that helicopter money potentially later on, a little later on down the line, could be a digital currency. Like that just solidifies blockchain. It solidifies everything that Bitcoin was based on. And the real players are gonna want the original and the most secure, more than the original. It's the most secure blockchain to ever exist, and probably that will ever exist. So yeah, and to me, decentralized currency is the greatest creation since the light bulb. I mean, I think electricity was better than light bulb as well. So let's just say electricity, fire, electricity, blockchain. It's gonna be the basis for everything that they're trying to do. And it's very important, in my personal opinion, that people have the true and decentralized versions of it. And because you're just going to see insane things happen with it. I mean, like the real people and people that have been studying and a lot of these billionaires, they understand what's going on. That's why they're buying silver, gold, and the real cryptos. That's my message for today. Peace. It's your boy Doc Blake with the last piece of the puzzle on Ethereal TV. I holla at y'all.